Good morning. It's Friday, April 17th, and here we have the S&P 500. We're looking at the overnight. So that was the open right there. And then we can see what happened. We traded up to the CP, to the tick. Then we ended up holding down here. Pulled back to this area, and we're trading right here in this area right now. They put in that low right there. They probed it a little bit right here. They matched it right there. And then we've held up above here. So if they don't get back below this area, if they end up holding up here, then 2,900 kind of minimum would be the next area up there. And then we really, on this side, we really need to take out, you can see anywhere between this, like 61, and then all the way up to, call it 67 area, 68 area. So somewhere in that area we really need to get above there if we're going to keep going and go back up to that 2,900 area. Otherwise, it's quite possible that we had this, so of course we had this big gap up. So we had this big gap. Of course we had the big push at the end of the Globex. So yesterday we said starting off this was the first target, and then above that it would get really, it'd start to get really strong, but we'd see how that went. Anyway, so they gapped up and came all the way up there to that CP. So big move there. So now what could it look like? Well, they could come back. If they can't hold here, they could really come all the way back to any of these, all the way down, I mean, really back to here, 27.95. And there's not a ton of room between these. So you have 30, and then we have 23.75, and then we have this KP, and then we have 12, and then we have a 1. So there's just not a lot of room here. There is a bit of room if we were to break down here. There's a bit of room. I mean, we have all of this. So it'll be interesting to see how today plays out. There's these 3 prices right here. Bit of a congestion area, and then we have our key turn level. So I'd be surprised to see it look like just one way, like we just see one way trading. I would be a bit surprised to see that. So we'll see if on the open they bounce back up to that 60. They use 61 already right here. So anywhere between that 63 to 68 area. That's one price. It's already filled though. So 67.75. So somewhere between that 63 to 68 area that they've been using in here. And we'll see if that will bring in some more selling. And then from somewhere in here, I mean, what would be likely to see would be a break. If that is what we're going to get, and get some more pullback, would be a break. A bounce from somewhere in here, somewhere between here and that. Yeah, we'll just see what they do up here. But we could bounce back up into here and then make another push lower. So I'll be active today, and we'll just get what there is to get. Things change as the time moves along. I'm actually looking at the order book right now as I'm recording this, and it's interesting. They're moving liquidity around. So it does look like they want to see if they can bring it down a little bit lower. And it's really fascinating. We have the prediction points that we have in here, right? And we've had these since this open last night. We had this 47.50, and if you saw what the order book looked like, they just moved a bunch of liquidity around, and there was a fair amount of liquidity at 28.50, and they pulled that and just moved things around. And now I guess it'd be the third biggest order. The biggest order in the book is 2900 area, and then the next one would be 28.45, which would probably be this 43/4 area when they get down there, because it will likely go through it a little bit. And then the next one is 28.47.50. So there's some good sort of confluence between these. Okay, I got to give you this just so you know. There's an outside chance here that they could, if they get back up above that 67, 68 area, we're not out of the woods for higher until we get back up above this 80 area. And just kind of how it is today, it's a little bit strange. So we'll see how far they want to bounce, but if above there, we got to watch this 80 area. And then if we can get above there, of course there's some work to do to get through here and get back up above. So anyway, this is getting longer than I normally like to have these, but that would put 2900 on the table at least. And at some point they're likely going to want to go to this 2900 anyway. They just, at least as things sit right now, but you really can't rule out all the way back down to here. Not the most likely scenario, but we really can't rule it out. So we'll trade what there is to trade and get what there is to get, and I will see you in the live trade room.